Hello. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ashley Abbott. Hi, welcome. I have an embarrassing story to tell you. Why am I sharing this? Because that's what I do. I share my life with you, right? So there's no judgment. We're all friends. And people need to know about this because I didn't know anything about this. I have never heard of this. And then one day, boom, bam, I had it. And my life was in shambles. And when I tell you this has ruined my life, I'm exaggerating. But when I tell you it feels like it's ruined my life, I'm being completely truthful. To catch you up, if you're new here and you haven't been following along, my aunt went into a diabetic coma. She was in a coma for several weeks. My family, as well as myself, was devastated. It was very stressful. It was very overwhelming. It was very sad. We were going through so many emotions, trying to figure out whether we were going to be saying goodbye or we didn't know. We didn't know what was going to be happening. There was a lot of traveling back and forth, like a lot of decision making. A lot of things were going on during that time in my life. During that time, when I was visiting, because she lives in a different state than I do, I developed this little circular bump, like kind of under my arm here. And I showed it to my mom. And my mom was like, "Oh, that looks like ringworm. Like, you should put some kind of cream on it." And I was like, "Okay, can you help me? Can you help a girl? I've never had ringworm. I have very sensitive skin, but like, I've never had like many skin things. Like sometimes my skin gets irritated by like certain soaps or cleansers or whatnot, but like as far as like ringworm or like something that I have to treat, I don't know what I'm doing." So I was like, "Mom, like help me." So she was like, "I might have a cream. Put this on it." So she gave me this antifungal cream and was like, "Put this on the ringworm." Okay, cool. So it wasn't itchy. It wasn't bothering me. My mom was like, "Just keep it clean and dry. Putting this cream on it and it should do the trick." Cool. Thanks. I get home days later. Nothing's happening. If anything, it's getting bigger. The thing is getting bigger. I'm like, I think I probably should get this looked at. So I go to the urgent care. They're like, "That could be ringworm." They do like a light test on it and they like swab it and send it out. And they're like, "Put this cream on it. We'll give you a different one. Put that one on it." Ringworm is very like resistant. So it could be there in like a lot of weeks. But just keep putting the cream on it and eventually like it'll start coming around and treating it. But it could take a little while and like that's normal. Okay. A week goes by. My whole torso, my back, chest, I'm getting covered in all these little red bumps that itch. And I'm like, okay, do I have ringworm and like something else is going on? Like at this point, my aunt's in a coma still. So like I'm under a lot of stress. So I'm like, what is happening? Like, are these like hives? Is this like a stress rash? What is happening? Because not only is it so itchy, but the hot water, taking a hot shower, oh my goodness, like that is like lighting it on fire. So it's like they're just spreading rapidly, like daily. I'm trying to like, I'm using a new towel, like I'm using sensitive soaps, like I'm just using like a sensitive skin Dove bar soap. Like I'm not using any like scented like gels or anything. Like I'm using the very basics. I'm not exfoliating. Like I'm doing everything I can, making sure all my clothes are clean, dry, skin's dry, like no sweat. Like I've stopped working out. Like I've stopped going to the gym. I'm making sure I'm not overheating my body. Like I'm doing all the things that I can possibly do. And this stuff is still spreading. I start taking Benadryl around the clock. I'm not a medicine taker. I don't even like to take ibuprofen. So taking a Benadryl at night, I need like a full 8-9 hours of sleep so that can like work through my body, because I'm not going to wake up in the morning I'm not going to wake up on time in the morning if I take the Benadryl too late. So I'm taking the Benadryl at like 6 o'clock. So it has plenty of time to get through my system by the time I have to wake up in the morning. I'm taking the Benadryl. So then it's getting so bad that I'm taking the Benadryl now during the day. And I'm just living on coffee because I need something to combat the Benadryl to keep me awake during my day so that I can function. I'm losing my freaking mind. So I go back to the urgent care. I'm like, hey, I've already been here once for ringworm, but I don't know if I have ringworm here now and something else that's spreading everywhere, or if this is all the same thing, but I'm covered in a rash that's itching, that's driving me insane. Like, I can't get sleep. Like, I'm taking Benadryl around the clock. Like, a girl's losing her mind. So they're like, this looks like something called, and I'm probably going to butcher this, so forgive me. I'm sure someone will let me know what it's actually called, but it's pityriasis rosea. I'm going to put it up here because I might be saying it wrong, but I'll put the actual spelling of like what it is somewhere. So the doctor at urgent care says, I don't think that's ringworm. Sometimes this can be confused as ringworm at first because what happens with pityriasis rosea is it starts out with a herald patch, which is something like this. Basically like a big, like mother bee, queen. It's basically the queen bee of the rash. So, and then it follows with the remaining rash, and it just spreads and spreads. She says it's a virus, that it's not contagious, that basically like skin to skin contact or anything like that. Like, I'm not spreading it. Like, it's not spread like that. It's a virus. It's a several week long thing, but basically it clears up on its own. It doesn't really need any treatment, but really the phases are you get the herald patch, you get all the other bumps, and they spread for like 10 to 14 days, and then eventually it just starts clearing. And that usually this is seen in like children up until like 35, but like I'm not going to be putting out how old I am, but y'all, I'm on the cusp of that. So I'm like, where did I get this? Like, is this like, where does this come from? And she's like, we don't really know where it comes from. Like, it's kind of like a cold. Like, you can really pick it up anywhere. So, of course, I've been spending, because my aunt's in a coma at that point, I've been spending a lot of time in a hospital. So, like, it could have come from anywhere. So she's like, we have no really idea, like, we can't pinpoint where it comes from, but, like, it's a virus, and it basically clears up on its own, but we can treat it with steroids, like, at least alleviate the itching, and you'll just have to keep taking the Benadryl, and you can put, like, a calamine lotion or something on it if you want to try that to, like, double up on things to, like, for the itching. But basically you're just treating the itching because it's a virus. There's no treatment for it. You just wait till it goes away and it heals itself on its own. But it can be like 4 to 10 weeks, and some people even see like 5 months. So I'm like, I'm losing my freaking mind. I've stopped my whole routine. Like, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing like anything I usually do just to keep my skin like cool, calm, dry. She's like, you can keep doing all that, but like that really probably doesn't matter. Like, it's a virus. So she's like, I'm going to call you on a steroid. You're going to take a steroid for 10 days, and then hopefully it should start clearing up. So I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I go get my steroid. 10 days goes by. I take my steroid. I finish my steroid. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I'm like, y'all, I've taken 10 days of steroids, not to mention like the 2 weeks I've been dealing with this beforehand, like before I even got medicine. So it might have even been 3 weeks. So it's been like 4 weeks, and it's getting worse. And this is taking cold showers every day, doing all the same stuff, not working out, which has, I not only work out for my physical health, but I work out for my mental well-being as well, because exercise really helps me manage my mental health. Not only am I not getting the benefits of like being physically active and exercise for my physical fitness and wellness, but now like I'm not only going stir crazy with this stuff all over my body and like my whole routine being like disrupted for weeks, but like my mental health is struggling. Like I am struggling so heavy. Like I am struggling so bad because my routine is a mess. My body is a mess because I haven't been eating well or working out. I haven't been working out, so my mental health is a mess. I'm also dealing with all the things like that's going on with my family member that's in a coma at that point. So like I am at my wit's end. I'm done the medicine and it's getting worse. So I'm like, I have to go back to the urgent care. I go back to the urgent care. There's a different doctor there that time. And he says, so sometimes what happens is we see things do like what we call a rebound. And basically, when the medicine ends, it like just goes crazy. I was like, I thought it was getting better. And then I ended the medicine and it just like rapid fired out of control, like so much worse. He's like, yeah. So that's what we call a rebound, is when you finish the medicine and basically it like takes off rapid fires. Because at that point, not only was it all here and on my back, it was spreading in my armpits because I had that one hair patch here, but it was spreading in my armpits. So then it was like I couldn't even shave my armpits. Like spreading in my arms, down my legs. So I'm like, this thing took off twice as hard when that medicine ended. So he's like, I'm going to give you another 10 days of steroids and I'm going to increase the amount this time. So you're going to take a higher dosage, higher amount, and we're going to see if that can do the trick. And maybe, hopefully, after 20 full days of steroids, like this is going to leave your body and it's going to clear up, because the last phase of this type of rash is it basically just starts clearing and goes away. And usually it's the type of thing like when you get it once, like you don't ever get it again, is typically how it goes. Crazier things have happened, but hopefully I don't ever get this again. So he's like, hopefully that'll do it. If not, come back and see us again. I think it's finally, like, I still have some like spots clearing out. I think by the next few days it's going to be completely gone. Please, I'm not trying to jinx myself, but I think it's clearing out. I think it's going away. If not, I'm going to be back at that urgent care because this has been wild. A girl was losing her mind during this time. I was really losing myself. I was going through it mentally, for sure. It's been a journey. I had no idea what this was. I had never heard of it. And then I had it. And then I kept having it for what felt like forever. But now it seems to finally be clearing up for good. I hope. Please. Editing me to pop in to say, that was a freaking nightmare. That was terrible. That was awful. That was all the bad things. But I'm fully healed, fully recovered. It is over. If you've ever had to go through this, I am so terribly sorry, because I was completely miserable. I was miserable. And I never thought it was going to end. I was having the toughest time with it. And then I just kept telling myself, like, this can't last forever. Like, it can't. It can't last forever, right? Like, it has to go away at some point. Like, what seems like forever isn't. It won't be. Like, don't let the hard days win. Because some days, y'all, I was really going through it with this stuff all over my skin. So that is my journey and my struggle with pityriasis rosea. If you've ever had it, that sucks. I'm so sorry. And I hope that you don't ever get it if you haven't, because it is literally miserable. Fingers crossed for your girl that this is actually going away this time, that we are done with this phase of our rash life. But anyway, Thanks for listening to my crazy story about this awful rash. It's been terrible. That's life, y'all. We just go through things sometimes, right? And we just gotta keep on keeping on. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.